Yoo-hoo! Testing. Alright, sweet. Woo! Wait. Jeez. Jeez, guys. Wow, hello, Moonies. It is I, Moonlight-chan, and we're continuing our reading of A.I Buster. Woo! As a fellow fan of the .hack franchise, so far I'm really admiring the story, and I really want to show you how great .hack is. So let's continue with this reading. Hope you guys can hear me. So sit back and relax and enjoy the stream. And also, what you're listening to is .hack Sign OST. So make sure you watch the anime. As a matter of fact, once I'm done reading .hack A.I Buster, Volume 1, we'll continue with the watch party of .hack Sign. Woo! So make sure you follow us at MoonliightLive and on our main channel Moonlight Artist on YouTube. And follow us on Twitch and Kick, which is also named Moonlight Artist. Hell, just check our socials in the lower corner. Woo! And also check out our art stores. We're updating it with new merch. Hey Smacklord, thank you for joining my stream, dude. Woo! Alright. Awesome, let's do this. Woo! I just love the music. Woo! Hope you guys can hear me, Moonies. Woo! So how have you been? I've been doing okay. Granted, my schedule is a bit crazy, but nevertheless, we need to get back into streaming, because we love you, Moonies, really. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, and share our content too. Smacklord, you've been listening to Neko Arc? Oh, really? I won't go into too much details, but, the character Neko Arc is based on, so it's going to be released in FGO very soon. So it'll be released at the Fate Grand Order Anniversary, which usually falls every July. So if you want to join Fate Grand Order, Smacklord, do so right now. Anyway, let's continue with .hack A.I Buster Volume 1. Woo! Woo! Alright, To recap, Well, A.I Buster stars the protagonist Albireo. How do I put this? He is a debugger who works at CC Corp. The company who's behind the very popular MMO called The World. And Albireo was tasked with the objective of deleting abnormal data in the game. So on a certain day, he was supposed to delete a very abnormal AI, but luckily he managed to escape. As a matter of fact, this certain AI named LYCORIS, damn it. She was segmented through different parts of the world, but nevertheless, Albireo accidentally encountered LYCORIS while traveling through a dungeon, and now that Albireo and LYCORIS have met up, well, he now wants to help. He wants to help the AI. Ah, jeez. Sorry, guys. Why am I so tongue-tied? But nevertheless, let's continue. Smack Lord, you've been messing around on AI apps? Well, don't get too addicted to them, alright, dude? Woo! Alright, so last time we left off, the Root Town, which is usually a safe area in the World MMO, is suddenly flooded with monsters, which is very abnormal. Technically, there's an event going on called the One Sin. So, let's get this on the road, Moonies. To an outsider, it might seem generous that someone would jump in to help, but in reality, they were hoping to strike the death blow before I did. It was a competition. Whoever killed the creature would gain a large number of experience points. Without warning, others joined the fracas. Like a pack of animals, they sensed weakness. The demon was being attacked on all sides. But some players had jumped in too soon, and the demon turned them to shadows, or knocked them off the bridge and into the river. I continued to attack, but in the melee it was too difficult to determine the extent of damage I personally was inflicting. The beast suddenly reeled, and I knew it was time. Triple attack. A fierce combination of blows, the last being the most pushing, came from my weapon. The monster fell. My health gauge wasn't far from death either, and I quickly downed a few more rejuvenation potions to bring me up to normal levels. The demon slowly faded, leaving behind a series of curses on my text screen before disappearing completely. Knowing the beast would probably be resurrected for another event in several months made my victory less satisfying. After a monster falls, the computer calculates the MVP, or who did the most damage, while the player who strikes the death blow gains a disproportionate amount of credit for the damage they did. I didn't have to worry about the others who tried to grab onto my glory. I knew I would win. Oh, hey Jibber Jab, what's up, dude? Thanks for joining my stream. Woo! I could hear others chatting in talk mode around me. Who got the MVP? Who do you think? I bet it was that polearms. He attacked the demon first. Yeah, but who got the death blow? Who knows? Too many people were attacking. Could have been anyone. I smiled. A moment later, a chest fell into my view. When a chest is awarded, only the player who wins can see or open it. It will take the others a moment to check their screens to see who was declared MVP. When I did find out, I heard those who were in talk mode groan. Jeez. It seems like that had predicted, how players would get angry over DPS damage. But I digress. I've seen his attitude while playing FF14, and when I used to play Terra back in the past. But that's a long story for another time. Congratulations. It was Orca. I looked up and saw him for the first time. He was a muscular, bare-chested blade user. I switched to talk. Thanks. I wasn't really interested in a conversation, so I turned away from him, targeted the chest, and then opened it. What did you get? I stared at the chest in disbelief. Was it worth it, he asked. Sorry, I have to go. I had to apologize as I pushed past his character and fled down the street towards my home. Part 3. LYCORIS' words repeatedly scrolled down my chat window as I led her down the side street and back home. LYCORIS, please give me the RAE.CYL. Despite my attempts to ignore her, Suwon set up. Please give me the RAE.CYL. It was a loop. Suwon quit unless I gave in to her request. It was the only way to proceed to the next phase of the event. Please give me the RAE.CYL. I toggled trade and gave it to her. The file name was different, but it had the same unusual extension, CYL. Can it be specific to the world? I hated to be rude to the blade user, but how could I explain that the treasure I won was some kind of encoded file? Besides, I hated drawing attention to myself, and I wasn't looking for company on my adventures. I entered my building and headed back upstairs. Hokuto, there you are. Her words flashed across my screen as she practically yelled them into my ear. I really wasn't in the mood for this. Hokuto was waiting in front of my door. I targeted her so we could speak to each other. I see you survived the invasion. No thanks to you. I say you owe me a big thanks. Thanks, I did kill the goblin. You're going to leave me to die. It was an accident that you popped out of your home. You weren't going to help me at all. Yeah, well, you're welcome. Her avatar's face switched to a furious expression, and her arms folded in indignation. Are you one of those people who go online just to work your real-world frustrations, I asked? What? Listen, Albireo. It's Albireo. Whatever, she snorted. You don't have to shout all the time. Why was he so noisy and bothersome and blocking my doorway? I can hear you without shouting. You don't have to be insulting as well. Her avatar switched from furious anger to extreme rage. It was the highest degree of anger she could type in. At least I know it won't get any worse. Insulting? How am I being insulting? By mocking my name? What if instead of Hokuto, I called you Huchi? Wow. Great comeback, Albireo. How would that make you feel? You wouldn't dare. I wouldn't, but only because I was courteous. Besides, why was I being intimidated by a first-level character? I could kill her with one swing if I wanted to. Look, I spent 3 days coming up with my name. I don't appreciate 3 days. Yeah, 3 days on that name. I sighed. She didn't get it. She wasn't into the world like most of the players I had encountered. It's common courtesy to be polite to strangers, especially since we don't have any idea who we could be in real life. For all you know, I could be your school principal. She was so insolent she had to be a teenager. So sorry, I didn't know you were made up the rules of the world. It's not my rule. It's a commonly accepted rule of the online world anywhere. I'm sure you must have learned about this when... Why was I wasting my time? I've had enough. Goodbye. I removed my target from her. Wait, she shouted. Stop shouting, I shouted back. Before realizing she couldn't hear me, I targeted her again. Stop shouting. You're insanely high level, aren't you? You blew away the goblin in one shot. But when you could have easily saved me, you didn't. There's no rule that says I have to save every player I see who's about to be killed. What about your courtesy? You're responsible for your own destiny in this world. You can thrive or die in the world at your own risk. That's not very nice. I still saved you, didn't I? Why are you so upset? Get over it. If you keep complaining, I'll report you to the GM. Who? The Game Master. She still didn't get it. The system administrators, they monitor everything. Why? You can be flagged for being overly rude and obnoxious. Wow, that's a bit sensitive, Albireo, but I can see where you're coming from. How would they know? The log. Hokuto, ellipses. So type that in to represent silence. I continued. Damn newbies. It's a record of our conversation. Everything is recorded by the log, and based on the common sense of the world, you would be considered at fault. Oh yeah? Yeah. It keeps everything you say? This was exasperating. Yes, every shout, every rude word, every obnoxious comment. Then it would have a record of your sexual harassment. What? What are you talking about? Now who's shouting? I couldn't help myself. This girl, if she was a girl, was too much. That's it, I'm reporting you. Go ahead, and I'll report you. Tell me, which is more serious? Someone who is merely rude or someone who is sexually harassing? You said I'd be flagged for my comment, but what would they do to you? Oh, burn! She got you, Albireo. Jibber jab, you're lost, but you're entertained. Oh, dude, watch part 1 when you're done with this stream, okay? Go ahead and I'll report you. Tell me, which is... Alright, I'd be blocked from the world. Yeah, but you're lying. Oh, really? And what about when you call me cute? You gawked at me too. That was just my impression of your character. Wouldn't sound good coming from someone who could be my high school principal. But I'm not your... She had a point. I had some stupid things as well. But just because I called her cute inside a game, it didn't mean I was sexually harassing her. However, if she reported it, the report would still be a mark on my file, even if it was a false one. Sometimes the system could be used against you too easily. How do you want to play it? She was gloating. I could hear it in her voice. Her avatar's expression changed as well. She kept her arms crossed, but a wicked smile played across the witch's lips as she threw her head back. The expression she chose was triumphantly smug. Why wouldn't she go away? What do you want, I ask. Your address. My what? Give me your memory address. I want to be friends. Friends? This was too much of a price to pay. My head ached. I needed some aspirin. I'm waiting. Or do I report you to the system administrators? I toggled her to an invite. According to legend, if you invite a vampire into your home, you render yourself powerless against the creature. That's how I was feeling now. Albireo. What a dump, Hokuto said as he entered. Please don't insult. Why don't you have any furniture? Are you poor? My home. Apparently she doesn't realize how much money it costs just to rent a place. I prefer a minimalist look. Just like most guys. So do all the guys here? Do you live a minimalist lifestyle? Honestly, I don't blame you, but there is some essential furniture you need, like a bed frame and a desk for your computer and a chair. And that's it, dude. Really. Oh, and also a dinner table, even a small one. Did you know Yuki Kajiura, she made the OST for that hack? Yeah, the same composer for Fate Zero, Sword Art Online, and many other animes. Oh, and Madoka Magica too. Alright. Yeah, but I read some gaming magazine that described how people completely decked out their homes any way they wanted. Not you though. Guess not. A rare moment of silence followed as he looked around the place. Unfortunately, it didn't last. Let's decorate. What? Come on, it'll be fun. For who? This place is boring, it's drab, it's an eyesore. And it's mine, so leave it alone. Yeah, but it's ours now. Ours? She didn't just say that, did she? We'll place a sofa here, get pink curtains, maybe throw some rugs. Oh, and over there we can put a fountain, or maybe a statue. Ah, geez, guys. Absolutely not. We have to get rid of this grungy table. Did you hear me? An hour later, we were walking along the main street of the town. It's hard to believe that this was the site of the major battle a while ago. But in the game world, once an event is over, it's over. Everything quickly returns to normal. Already, players are back to haggling over the prices of the merchant squares and looking for the best deals. Where's a good place to buy magic armor? Go to the Greedy Fighter. Where's that? You need to go to a different server. Try Sigma. A little earlier, some of these same people were cheering my victory over the demon. Now they didn't even remember me. Look at this idiot. Hokuto pointed out a stocky character with a giant muscular body and a tiny head who was carrying an awkward-looking heavy axe. He was screaming at someone. They said it was a magic potion, but instead, it's just normal healing water they can buy off any cleric for a gold piece. Hokuto laughed. You think it's funny? Of course, it's like he's advertising how stupid he is. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else rips him off in the next 5 minutes. He learned from his mistake and no scream in the middle of town. We stopped at one of the shops and I targeted the owner, a stout, fatherly merchant behind the counter. Welcome, he said in a friendly, enthusiastic voice. I have many wares to sell. And what are you interested in? A window appeared on my screen, listing everything available. Not exactly like shopping at Saks, said Hokuto. I gave her the silent treatment. Albireo? Don't do that, it's annoying. You did it earlier. No, I didn't. Whatever, just hurry up and pick what you want. I hardly pay attention to the display, and just hoped she wouldn't pick out anything too expensive. After all, it wasn't her money she was spending. You know what this reminds me of? It's like a couple choosing their furniture when they're moving in together for the first time. She typed in the command smiled and her avatar smiled. Yeah, jeez. I'm getting FF14 flashbacks. One of these days I'm gonna have to stream that game. For anyone curious, I'm in the middle of Shadowbringers. And I'm happy for Dawn Trail. I want to play as Pictograph. Where are my FF14 players at? Woo! I hope she didn't think that applied to us. How did I let myself get roped into this ridiculous situation? I saw her screen highlight several items. Once she highlighted the couch, I decided to end the shopping spree. Alright, that's the last item. What? But there's more stuff I want to buy. You bought too much already. I had a feeling she would have brought out the store if I let her. I heard another character, a heavy blade dressed as a samurai, arguing with the merchant. Come now, don't be so rigid. Cut me a discount. After all, look how much I've purchased from you. He must be a newbie. He's talking to the merchant as if he's a character and not an NPC. It doesn't matter how much you buy, the prices are always the same. It was time to go home. We left the building loaded with the new furniture. One of the advantages of purchasing in cyberspace, you never need a moving van. Hokuto sounded more pleased once he finished arranging everything we purchased. There now. This isn't so bad. This place is starting to shape up. Hokuto typed yes a couple of times, nodding twice. The room looked awful. In no time, I carefully carved our home, had been transformed into Hokuto's private hideaway. The worst was the pink curtains. Yeah, jeez. Don't you guys hate it when someone tries to make changes for you? I kinda know how Albireo feels. Well, in terms of decorating, I have pretty good taste. What about you, Moonies? Are you satisfied, princess? Using a shortcut command, I shook my head. I found that there are 5 basic actions worth programming as shortcuts. Look, stare, no, slash yes, nod, slash no, shake head, slash duck, shrug, slash bye, wave goodbye. From my past experience, these actions usually covered just about any situation. I didn't think there were enough shortcuts for Hokuto to choose from, so it was all over the emotional range, though her favorites seemed to be slash look hard, stare hard, slash ENTH underscore yes, non-enthusiastically, and slash vig no, vigorously, shake head no, slash infer, look infuriated, slash triumph smug, throw head back arrogantly. Well, it's probably getting near your bedtime. Didn't you log out? What? It's only 9 o'clock. Who do you think I am? Some elementary school brat who sleeps with a baby blanket and pees in her bed at night? She's older than I thought. Maybe junior high or high school age, but definitely no older. Instead of leaving, she sank down into the sofa. Hey, once you exchange member addresses, we can form a party, right? Any player who asks such a stupid question shouldn't have the right to sit on a 198,000 GP sofa. Yeah. Yikes. I pulled up the address list. It used to be empty. Now one name haunted this otherwise empty space, Hokuto. How long has it been since you joined the world? I asked. A week. No wonder she's so inexperienced. Doesn't matter. I can remove her from my address list anytime and block her from sending messages in the future. Once he's gone, I can sell all of this girl as furniture, even if I do take a big loss. Then I can buy back my favorite table. Hey, I have an idea. We're not getting any more decorations for this place. Let's form a party together. What? Why not? We exchanged addresses, so let's do it. Please, please, please. Hokuto's avatar smiled brightly. I'm a solo player. Haven't I mentioned that like 600 times? Oh, boo-hoo, you like to play solo. Who cares? It's more fun to be in a party. Not for me. Oh, that's what I want to do. If you keep acting like this, no one will ever want to form a party with you. Acting like what? Selfish. Silence. I stared at her as she stared at me. She was still sitting on a couch. But her avatar remained perfectly motionless. Then I heard her over my headphones. It was very faint, very quiet at first, but then it got louder, though I could tell she was trying to hold back. She was crying. Oh no, don't tell me you're not crying, are you? She tried to choke back the tears, but it was useless. Why didn't she hit mute if she didn't want me to hear? Her avatar finally moved. She got up and walked towards the door. It was odd to see her avatar's face looking so neutral while hearing the choked back sobs coming from somewhere far away. I'm going, is all she said. Going? Where you go? Where? Are you going outside to cry? Yes, now tell everyone that you abused me. Give me a break. The log would back me up on this one. I couldn't recall ever having a worse day inside the game world. This was too much, but I still felt bad about making her cry. Look, I'm sorry. I hit an accent command so my avatar would appear sorry as well. Really? Yes, I mean it. I shouldn't have said that to you. So you admit it's your fault. I muted my sigh, then continued. Yes, it's all my fault. You don't have to go outside and cry. I wish you wouldn't cry at all. She was definitely in junior high. She couldn't possibly be any older. If you're sorry, then you'll form a party with me. I hit mute before the string of curses left my lips. I didn't want her to start crying again. My silence didn't go over well. She began to whimper. Alright, well I couldn't believe I was saying this. Form a party. I used the /smile command. which I hardly ever use, just to be nice about it. Then I pulled up the address list, selected Hokuto's name, and sent an invitation to form a party. There, I selected you. Select OK and you'll be invitation accepted. Flashed across my screen before I could finish. Added to the lower part of my screen were Hokuto's health and skill point gauges. Yay! The tears that sounded so real a moment ago were now gone. Was he faking it? Oh no. Now what's wrong? There's some kind of spirit in here. What is he talking about? Is he insane? A spirit. A spirit? Guarding you? A girl. Hokuto's eyes moved away. The target is something else in the room. Then I remembered LYCORIS. Didn't you see her before? No, she just appeared the moment we became a party. I didn't think of it before, but no one else had seemed to react to LYCORIS when I was fighting or walking around the town. Apparently she was only visible to me. Well, me or anyone in my party. But if she was invisible to anyone outside of the party, then for all I knew, there could be other invisible LYCORIS characters floating around with other adventurers. Interesting. What's interesting? Who is she? I thought you liked to work alone. Her name is LYCORIS. She's an event character. What's an event character? Someone who begins an event, such as a quest or an adventure. Like a king who sends out adventurers to rescue his daughter, or a shady character who sells you a treasure map and later tries to steal the treasure from you. Each one begins some kind of event. No, it wasn't possible for there to be more than one of each event character. One or two different groups teamed up to form a new party. It wouldn't work if each group was at a different stage of the event. Some players might have progressed further than the others, and that would screw up the adventure. There could only be one LYCORIS event per server. Will you stop mumbling to yourself? Hokuto yelled. At the same moment, there was a knock on the door. Oh no. What is it? In all my time in the game, no one had ever visited me. Now, it was happening twice in one day. Hello, do you remember me? We fought the boss together? His name was displayed in my voice chat window. It was Orca, the guy who asked me what was in the chest after I killed the demon. I wonder if he named himself after the killer whale. Sorry about dropping in on you like this, but I saw you in front of the shop earlier and you followed me home? Well, not at first, but then I thought it would be best to talk to you. I didn't mean to upset you. Not at all. Good. His voice suddenly changed tone. You seem like a brave and hardy warrior. It would be an honor to buy a drink for such a valiant man as yourself. He was role-playing. Sometimes people scoff at those who take the game too seriously, but it's widely accepted as another way to enjoy the game on a deeper level. After all, role-playing doesn't end when you choose your warrior class. There are secondary careers such as informants who sell information on how to conquer the game for money, traders who broker the items to be traded, and singers and comedians who perform on the street corners. One could even consider the Cobalt Knights to be a warrior subset. I looked over Orca's avatar. He was a giant of a figure. His upper body was a ball of muscles, covered only by a harness belt and a piece of heavy soldier armor. He carried a sword sheathed on his back. His wave symbol was painted in white like an X, crisscrossing his face and chest. And the white paint stood out in deep contrast to his dark green skin and copper-colored hair. For some reason, his midsection and lower arms were normal flesh tone, but everywhere else was green. He had chosen a truly unique look. I set my chat mode to whisper, so that we could converse alone. What do you want? I was impressed by the way you fought so fearlessly earlier, without regard to your own well-being, without anyone to back you up or resurrect you should you fall. You still rushed to attack the foul creature, who corrupted this town with his vile presence and rained his evil enemies down upon. Please get to the point. I have a proposition, Demon Slayer. Go on. I suggest that we should, Well, that is, why don't we exchange member addresses? Member addresses? Yeah, so we could team up. You know, you can join our party. Not again. What do you think? I cleared my throat. I don't exchange member addresses with anyone. That's just the way I prefer to play. I'm sorry, but you should look elsewhere. What about her? He pointed at me. Her? Could you see LYCORIS? I turned. Hokuto stepped forward. Hello there. What are you talking about? The fact she was inside my home proved that we exchanged member addresses. I quickly continued. She's the only exception I've ever made. Anyway, I don't like to form parties. But you formed a party with her. As if on cue, Hokuto butted in. What is it? What are you talking about? I can't hear a word you're saying. I switched to Hokuto and whispered, please let me finish. Then I cut back to Orca, so she couldn't hear. There's a reason she's here. But it's far too complicated to get into right now. And wait a minute, did you see join our party? Yes. I have a partner. Orca turned sideways and beckoned someone forward. Another blade user appeared from around the corner of the hallway. I recognized him as another one of the players who jumped into battle with the demon. Orca introduced us. His name is Balmung. He is my gaming partner. If he is a solo player, you shouldn't force him to join us. Balmung sounded annoyed. I switched to talk mode. It is the only way to have a conversation with two or more players of another party. Of course, you can never tell what secret conversations are going on behind the scenes. How do you do, Balmung? The name Balmung refers to the name of the famous sword in German mythology. Most common names from mythology or epic tales were quickly taken in the early days of the world. The fact that he had this name meant he'd been playing a long time. Balmung resembled a valiant knight. Beneath his shock of white hair, he had classically handsome features, wore bright plate mail, and was armed with a thin, long dagger, a rare and highly ranked weapon. I zoomed in on his face. It was almost too handsome, suggesting that the player behind the character might be self-conscious about his looks in the real world. I wonder how young he was. It's a bit of a generalization, but most players over the age of 25 find it embarrassing to play the classic hero and prefer a more rugged character, much like Orca had chosen. Geez. Here's a bit of a spoiler. Orca in the Dahack universe is played by a 14-year-old kid. If you play the Dahack IMOC games, Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine, you'll know what I mean. Really. And I think Balmung is around 18 in this era, but I digress. Oh, and Smacklord. Since you like Neko Arc songs, used to listen to, well, Fake Grand Carnival opening theme. Hell, used to listen to Carnival Phantasm opening. I'm talking about the Fate series, but let's continue. Hey guys, what's up? Hokuto couldn't have been more out of place in this group. I jumped to whisper mode and asked her to stay quiet and listen. So you're looking for a third to fill out your party? I asked. The world limited parties to 3 players. That's right. It's not easy to find someone who's at our level. It's more difficult finding someone that he approves of. Orca pointed at Balmung. Balmung stared at me. It's unusual to play solo inside the world. The world recommends forming parties, only to ensure greater survivability and hence greater enjoyment of the game. The only advantage of solo play is you get to keep everything you find. Maybe, but I get more experience points if I don't have to share with a group. Here's another tip. In the Dahack games, especially in the first generation, the IMOC games, if you form parties of 3, you get to keep all party members keep the same amount of experience points. so you don't have to solo it all of the time. Let's see. Balmong used to be solo until he teamed up with me. Oh, I looked at Balmong with renewed interest. Did you reach your current level as a solo player? For the most part, I belonged to a party when I first started the game. But that didn't last long. I've been solo the entire time till I met Orca. That's pretty amazing. I find playing solo actually helps you survive. You don't get killed by your teammates' mistakes. His voice indicated a bitter experience from the past. Hey Jibberjob. Soloing games meant for parties. God, I can relate, Lamau. Yeah, me too, dude. Me too. Of the two, Orca was clearly the more sociable one. He must have charmed Balmong into joining him. What's your plan once you acquire your party? I bet there's hardly an area now that you two couldn't conquer together. Why add a third? These two are already in the top 1% of the more than 15 million online players. Orca responded, as a matter of fact, we've recently discovered such an area. Really, what's it called? I asked. The One Sin, Balmong muttered. His words brought a moment of silence. Whoa. Alright, in the Dahak universe, the One Sin is a canonical event. It's an event in the world where Balmong and Orca managed to defeat a monster called the One Sin. Now the One Sin was a very powerful boss. And, therefore, only two players could be able to defeat it by switching. One taking damage, and the other one, sorry, but basically the only way to defeat the One Sin is, targeting the opposing element of the monster. And the One Sin supposedly the One Sin had a tendency of switching elements. So therefore, only two players can beat it, which were Balmong and Orca. And afterwards, they were labeled as the descendants of Fiona. But let's continue with the story. And please, please, please start getting into the Dahak franchise. It's very awesome. Woo! Alright. Part 6. I invited Orca and Balmong into my home. The One Sin wasn't something to be discussed in the hallway. Orca was the first to comment as he looked around. What a cute home. I wouldn't have expected this from you. I decorated this room, Hokuto proudly stated. Yeah, I had nothing to do with it, I emphasized. Those curtains hurt my eyes, Balmong muttered. When I look at them, I realize they hurt mine as well. I hate pink. What was I thinking? We all sat down. Don't tell them anything about LYCORIS, I whispered to Hokuto. Clearly they couldn't see her, or they would have commented on the little girl holding my hand by now. Ooh, so LYCORIS is special AI? How mysterious. Oh, Jibberjob? Dahak is way better than Sword Art Online. As a matter of fact, it predates SAO anyway. And also, SAO kinda ripped some elements from Dahak. So please look into it. That goes for all of you, my dear Moonies. Woo! Why not? Why not what? Asked Orca. Hokuto had responded to me in talk mode, not whisper. I forgot she only been playing a week. I want to be proficient in the subtleties of conversation that existed. I could see Balmong looking at me. He knew I had whispered something to her. I could tell he was probably doing the same with Orca now. It gave me a second to talk to Hokuto. You don't need to reply. I'm in whisper mode, which means he can only hear me. So just listen quietly. LYCORIS is, well, it's something we should clear together. without letting the others know about it. I would have preferred to clear the event on my own, but I had to keep her quiet about it. Players like Orca and Balmong were well connected in the world and kept up with the message boards. If they knew of LYCORIS, they would start threads and learn more, and soon word would get out about the little girl dressed in red. I didn't want that. The one advantage of having a newbie in my group was that she wasn't connected to anyone or anything in the world, and I already knew she didn't bother with the boards. Got it, she said. Orca turned to her again. God, what are you talking about? Why wouldn't she listen? I decided to quickly change the topic. So tell me about the one sin, Orca. Right, said Orca. I could tell he was beginning to have his doubts about me. I heard it's the highest difficulty level within the world, I continue. It's more than that. These days, it's become infamous as a player killer of all levels. Even mid-level characters are killed without so much as slaying a single guardian. It's supposed to be impossible to conquer, and they say no one is strong enough to stand up to the event's boss. But that's just a rumor. You heard of the one sin then? Yes. Do you know the 3 coordinate words to get there? I think they're captive, fallen, and angel. I've been there before, not that I tried conquering the area. Balmong leaned in. It's impossible for a solo player. Because you can't be resurrected, but the one sin can't be conquered, Orcus asserted. Why do you think that? Balmong answered this time. If there is an event so difficult that it cannot be cleared, that's a bug in the system. Now I mean the world is flawed. Orca jumped in. And we don't believe that. We think it's a good game. And if it is good, then there must be balance. Before I continue, well, I want to change the background music. Alright, let's see. Ooh, this is one of my favorite songs from .hack Sign. Subscribe to jeez. If you have any free time, try watching .hack Sign anime. It's very profound and very beautiful, and the music is awesome. You're listening to one of the songs of the OST. That's why you believe you can conquer the area? Because it would mean the world is defective if you couldn't. Absolutely. I believe in this world. Orca nodded his head. I was beginning to like Orca, not just the character, but the player behind him. I wonder how old he was. Most players were young, even the old timers. You two really love the world, don't you? Orca was surprised by my question. Of course. So do you, Albireo. Or you wouldn't have developed your character this far. You must be attached to him. You're right about that. Balmong stared in my direction. Albireo? Yes. We recognize most of the weapons in the world just by looking at them. But yours? You mean this? I held up my halberd, but this was no ordinary halberd. And its beautiful, decorative design set it apart as a rare item. Clearly Orca and Balmong had been whispering about it. Alright. Jibber Job, you like the music? Well, thank you, dude. Okay, Moonies, make sure you watch .hack Sign. It's an awesome anime. And we've hit the 50-minute mark. Woohoo! Clearly, Orca and Balmung had been whispering about it. Where did you get it? Orca asked. Is it a reward from an event? What's the name of the spear? I'm afraid I can't tell you. Why? It's a secret. Secret? Balmung sounded skeptical. I won't tell you. Leave it at that. Balmung continued. I hope it's not a cheat item. Orca jumped in. Man, Orca's such a stickler. I mean, Balmung. But whatever. Orca jumped in. Balmung, enough. He turned towards me. I'm sorry, Albireo. He didn't. No, it's a legitimate concern. I understand why you would think that since I wasn't straightforward with you. It's the divine spear of Wotan. What's that? Orca asked. But I knew Balmung would understand its origin. The legendary spear from the ring of the Nibelung. Balmung responded. I figured you would know. Balmung nodded, but Orca still looked puzzled. Our interpretation of Wagner's opera is that Wotan's spear is what carries out the god's order and is treated as the symbol of both contract and authority. Opera? Asked Orca. A composer created an opera based on the epic poem Song of the Nibelungs. It's a form of mixture of Germanic and Icelandic legends that Wagner put together in what is known as the Ring of the Nibelung. Well, since Wagner is a German name, I might as well say Wagner. God, what is up with my voice? Damn. Anyway, it's about a dwarf who steals some magic gold that he hopes will make him all powerful. Instead, he brings about a series of events that eventually causes the fall of the gods. One of those gods is Wotan. The hero in the epic is Siegfried, and I name myself after the sword he carried, Balmung. Hey Moonies, if you ever delve into Dahack, especially researching about the MMO The World, you realize there's Germanic and Gaelic homages to it. Ah, jeez. Alright. I had no idea you were so knowledgeable, Balmung. I based my name upon the legend. It's truly magnificent. You should look into it sometimes. Orca shrugged. Yeah, maybe. Orca clearly preferred hack and slash adventures over the subtleties of myth and story. The question is, Balmung continued, where did you get it? He doesn't have to tell us that, Orca said. No, it's alright. I don't want there to be any misunderstandings between us. I'll be direct, but I trust I have your confidence in this matter. They both agreed. This spear is from the era of Fragment. You mean the beta version? Orca's voice turned up a notch. Albireo, you were one of the original test players? Yes. That's awesome. That's totally awesome, isn't it, Balmung? Orca was excited. Balmung was one of them too. You were a test player for the beta version? That meant he'd been around longer than I thought. No wonder he was able to obtain a name for myth. Orca continued. I heard only 1,024 players were selected from the general public. Damn, I'm jealous. Balmung remained silent. This spear cannot be obtained in the current version of the world. That's why I didn't want to talk about it. Of course, something from Fragment. It's a true artifact. I'm sorry there's no shortage of players who would want it. Pretty badly, I imagine. I have no intention of giving it up. But if others knew, then I'd be constantly bothered by players wanting to make me offers in trade. Not to mention someone who might try to kill you for it. At least they're powerful enough not to worry about that. Man, I love this song. Again? I would like your reassurance. Since I was straightforward with you, hold my confidence dear, and don't say a word about this spear to anyone else. I forget we ever talked about it, Orca smiled. I typed in and returned the gesture. Orca changed tones. So, Albireo, let's get back to the matter at hand. I'm sorry, but I can't join your party. I didn't mean to be so blunt, but I want to make it as clear as possible. I see. Let me explain. I'm currently in the middle of an event. I'm afraid I must continue until it's over. I can't leave. Sorry about that. Well, it's disappointing, Orca sighed. But it can't be helped. I just want you both to know. You guys are the very first players I feel like forming a party with inside the world. Orca smiled brightly. That's great to hear. I'll keep your addresses. If you happen to need help, send me a message. Although I can't team up, I still might be able to help out in an emergency. Shine, bright morning light, now in the air, just sweet, blowing wind, singing down the hills and flowers. Jeez. Oh, jeez. Well, it's disappointing, Orca sighed, but it can't be helped. I just want you both to know, you guys are the very first players I felt like forming a party with inside the world. Orca smiled brightly. That's great to hear. I'll keep your addresses. If you happen to need help, send me a message. Although I can't team up, I still might be able to help out in an emergency. Thanks. I'm online pretty much every day. Me too, except when I have exams. That's the only time my parents forbid me to play online. Orca's younger than I thought. He's probably still in high school. Yeah, there's no greater threat to the world than parrots. Doesn't matter how high level you are. They're the one boss that's impossible to defeat, he laughed. Balmong got up. Let's go, Orca. We're done here. Orca stood, still laughing. Alright. Balmong hates to hear about real life in the world. Don't talk about something that's so irrelevant. Balmong sighed out bitterly. You see? Oh well, it just proves how much he enjoys the game. Orca, Balmong yelled. I understand how you feel, Balmong. In fact, I was quite similar to him. I admired both of them. Orca for his warmth and directness, Balmong for his love of the game. We're challenging the one sin tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Wish us luck. Good luck, I mean it. They left, even though we had just met. I felt like I was saying goodbye to friends. It had been a long time since I felt that way. Actually, I hadn't felt this good since I first played in the world, and everything was new and exciting. Now in the air, just I love this song, Moonies. They seem pretty cool. I turned towards Hokuto. You can unzip your mouth now. Hokuto let out a gasp of air. She breathed in and out dramatically to show how restrained she was. I'm impressed. You were surprisingly quiet. Because I didn't understand a word you said. How could she? Most newbies wouldn't understand the intricacies of what we were discussing. But it didn't matter. The game was what you made of it. It was there for everyone to enjoy at any level. I yawned. It's about time I drop out. Drop out? You know, log out. I have to leave the game. Wait, you're going now? I selected the logout command. I realized I probably shouldn't return to my home for a while. In fact, I wondered if maybe I should abandon it altogether. Then I could block Hokuto, so I wouldn't receive messages from her anymore. That way, I'd be done with the worrisome wicked witch. Hokuto looked at me. What's wrong? Several seconds passed. Several seconds passed. Why aren't you leaving? Say something. Several seconds passed. Why aren't you leaving? Say something. I can't do it. Can't do what? I can't log out. I switched to third-person POV. I can see all 3 characters, Albireo, Hokuto, and LYCORIS, standing in the middle of my gaudily decorated home. I realized LYCORIS had been quiet ever since I handed her the second item. You can't log out? Hokuto asked. I can't pull myself out of the game screen. Oh no. In the .hack universe, if you're trapped in game, then that means something must be wrong. Horribly wrong. Normally, if a player selects the logout command from the root town, the screen returns to the top page of the world. It's like placing a bookmark where you last left off, but this time it wasn't working. Jeez. Reading this makes me want to play .hack Fragment now, but it's getting pretty late. I knew it couldn't be the system. Ultimate OS is infallible. Problems such as disconnections, which happened all the time in the old era, never happen anymore. Never. There wasn't even an error message saying why it wasn't working. I was stuck in the game. I got it, Hokuto asked. Why don't you call that person you mentioned? The ones who keep their eyes on everything. The BM. You mean the GM? Yeah, the systems guys. CC Corp, which runs the game, always has operators ready to help if a problem or a glitch should occur. There are 24-hour standby in case the problem develops. But the problems they deal with are outlined in the user agreement, and I didn't think it would include this. Sweet morning light, wait for me to start much farther to sound. Man, jeez. I've heard this song for years and I still don't know all of the lyrics. Jeez. It isn't proper to call up the system administrators for a troubleshooting problem. But aren't they supposed to support the users? Yes, but they're only to be used in an emergency. So far, this isn't one. Usually when something like this happens, it's temporary. It'll probably fix itself in a moment. Jeez. I decided to take it easy. After all, this wasn't really a big deal. Maybe it's the girl. Who, LYCORIS? Yeah, maybe she doesn't want to let AI go. AI? Who's AI? You. Your name's too long and complicated. Jeez. Yeah, maybe she doesn't want to let Al go. Al? Who's Al? You. Your name's too long and complicated sounding, so I'm going to call you Al. And I think I'll call her Lyco. It's better, don't you think? I rolled my eyes and hit the dot. I hit the dot key for silence, indicating I had no opinion of the matter. I thought it best to let her do what she wanted. It was better than arguing. Hey, Al. I sighed, what? Hokuto stood up from the sofa and approached me so closely that her face covered my entire screen. Jeez. Your eyes are 2 different colors. One is blue and the other is yellow. I know. That's what I wanted. Why? Are you trying to look cool? AFK, I sought back. AFK? It means away from keyboard. I'm leaving my PC without disconnecting. My character will remain where he is. Wait, what about me? Go play outside. I'll disband the party. I selected disband. Hokuto's HP disappeared from my screen. On her screen, Albireo's gauge should have disappeared too. Good night and good riddance. Rio CyberConnect Japan Company. Alright. Hey guys, I'm gonna take a small break here. I need to clear up my voice. So, hang on a minute and we'll be right back soon. Yoo-hoo! Y'all minis, I'm back. For some weird reason, well, my throat just started developing phlegm. And I had to go spit it out. Jeez, my voice is just weird. Yoo-hoo! Someone was knocking. When I removed the FMD, I saw a first-faced kid standing on the other side of the glass door. He'd been working for me for over a month, but I can never remember his name. The papers he requested, water-eye. He laid them down on my desk. Thanks. I thumbed through them while he waited for further instructions. This is in the real world. Oh, thanks, Jibber Jab. You rock. And we hit the 1 hour mark. Sweet. Woohoo! Thanks. I thumbed them through them while he waited for further instructions. Then I asked, any new reports on the vagrant AI we missed the other day? Nothing yet, but we've increased our patrols. I leaned back in my chair and looked past the kid through the glass wall of my office. I stared out at the sea of cubicles. The right angles of their partition walls seemed to stretch outward like an Esser drawing. I used to be assigned to one of those cubicles until I earned this office. It wasn't very large, but at least it was mine. We're looking into every bug report that comes in, the kid said nervously to fill the silence. There's no new information or witnesses. He shook his head, but the report we received the day before yesterday was dead on. We missed our shot. The AIs are getting swifter. Their functionality has increased, so they know how to evade us. They never stay in the same place for long. Okay, in a dot hack universe, this MMO is so lifelike and profound that rogue AI is created from out of nowhere. I mean, really, rogue AI are created in the world out of random data that accumulates. There's something special about the world in a dot hack universe that allows humans to connect. Well, how do I put this? The world, it's not just an average MMO. The creator Harold Hurrick managed to implement something in its system that allows players, basically the world can receive human emotions, especially the ultimate AI, Aurora. And I'm sorry for being so tongue-tied. Cease. Can you imagine that? An MMO that can create spontaneous rogue AIs? That'd be something. If I was playing an MMO, I wish I could talk to an AI. And that was just born into the virtual world. That'd be kind of cool. Don't you think so, Moonies? Alright, back to the story. Let's go. When did vagrant AIs first appear? The kid asked. Basic ones were first discovered in the beta version, but the vagrant AIs at that time couldn't even send out text messages, let alone move around the system. Not only that, but they weren't smart enough to evade being deleted. Since they couldn't get out of their realm, they were stuck in one place until we found them. But they're evolving. I don't care for the word evolved. It makes them sound as if they're alive. They're not. I moved a stack of papers to the side of my desk. If you're not scheduled to join the brigade patrols, you can go home early. Sounds good, thanks. Unless you want to get in some overtime without pay, impress the boss. I'm happy to go home. No ambition. That was the problem with many of the kids today. Hired right after graduation, he did what he was told. Earned his paycheck and never strived for more. Maybe it would be different if he'd been assigned to the game development section That's where most people want it to be. Unlike the sterile corporate atmosphere on this floor, the gamers decorated their offices with posters and artwork, played loud music, and generally had more fun. It was like being in college, only you were getting paid to be there. But this kid was assigned to me because he didn't do well enough in his training sessions. They made him a flunky. Any plans for tonight, I asked. Not really. I might actually jump online, but he trailed off. It's weird. When I was a student, I was totally into the game. I used to skip classes and give up sleep to play. But now that I work here, you lost interest, right? Not exactly, but it's different somehow. Maybe if you had studied for your exams more instead of wasting all of your time online, you'd be working for a better company, I joked. He laughed. If there's a better company than ours, show it to me. He straightened up. Now what I meant was I approached it differently before. Before I used to always check out the bulletin boards, BBS, to gather information on how to conquer the game or roam about an area stretching for rare items, and now I've stopped doing things like that. It's an occupational disease, sir. It's lost some of its mystique for you. People who are involved with the production and administration of the game become less informed about the game than the players. It's common. Yeah, I guess that's it. Anything beyond the area of my responsibility is rather hard to keep up with. Never forget the love you first felt for the world. Currently, that's the only merit you got. Otherwise, you remain an errand boy for the rest of your career. But eventually, I'll get some online responsibilities, right? Not until you've earned some seniority. I wondered if you'd take my hint. I heard you participated in localizing the Japanese version of the world. That true? Did he think that asking me about my past counted as overtime? Yes, I did. That's so awesome. Since he reacted to my news like a fanboy, I thought I impressed him with my story. I started here the year CC Corp was established. In fact, I was a newbie like you and joined in on the project shortly after it started. Who was the team leader? Tokuoka. He is no longer with the company, but you may have heard of him. No, I haven't. But people come in and out of the game industry pretty fast, don't they? Moonies, I want you to keep an eye out for the name Tokuoka. You'll see him later. In a different medium of the .hack franchise. You'll see what I mean later. In the future. Sure. High turnover is part of the industry. Do you think you made a mistake by joining this business? Not at all. What else would I be doing right now? Flipping burgers? No thanks. So tell me more about this Tokuoka guy. I took a sip of the instant coffee that had been sitting on my desk for hours. It not only looked like mud, it tasted like it too. He was pretty interesting, eccentric. How do you mean? Well, speaking of flipping burgers, he always ate the same thing for dinner every night. A plain hamburger with french fries and a Coke. Because I was just starting out like you back then. I was often the errand boy they sent to McDonald's. Every night, he ate the same damn thing. That is strange. That's just for starters. Back then, we didn't use time cards like we do now. Instead, we were on Tokuoka time. Huh? Tokuoka used to pile up blankets and couch cushions and sleep on the floor in his office. Whenever he woke up and climbed out of his makeshift sleeping bag, that was considered morning. When he stopped for his first meal, that was noon. And if he went out to drink, that was evening. Didn't matter if morning was 3 in the afternoon and evening was actually dawn. That was Tokuoka time. Wow, doesn't sound like he got out much. Not really. I think the only women he talked to were those who worked here or anyone he encountered in restaurants. He was very asexual. I took another sip of the coffee and wondered why I didn't just send a kid out to make me a fresh pot. The only time I remember him taking days off were 3 days that he became so sick with fever, he was rushed to the hospital. Once the fever was down, even though he was still ill, he went right back to work. How sad. Doesn't sound like he had any fun. He did have one small vice, one indulgence that he allowed himself. He smoked. I held back the best for last. Without leaving the building, isn't that against the law? Sure, and it's against company policy, but no one's going to tell the man who's designing the company's premium software what he can or can't do. I leaned back in my chair as I reflected on the past. I still remember the smell of those cigarettes. The aroma is practically burned into my brain. He used to smoke this sweet Indonesian cigarette called garam. It comes in a can. Have you seen them before? Each can holds 36 cigarettes. He'd go through a can a day. His office reeked of the smoke and his monitor returned yellow within a month. They had to keep replacing them. Damn. Yeah, he was pretty unique. Definitely not your typical CC Corp employee. In fact, he only wore Hawaiian shirts to work and always listened to music through a set of headphones. I didn't find out till later that he loved hard rock bands like Van Halen and Deep Purple. Really? Of course, you have to remember that the old Triple C was a startup venture back then. Almost any computer company with any kind of vision had someone like Tokuoka working for them. Remember that everyone had lost their jobs after Pluto's kiss? So they gathered together as many programmers, designers, planners, and artists as they could to work on a localization process. Of course, it wasn't really that localized, since they were trying to start the same system in 10 different languages throughout the world. The real world, that is. The real world, that is. Jeez. Okay, for context, Pluto's kiss was an event that happened, in Dahak's timeline, in the real world. Basically, a 10-year-old programmer virus that shut down all of the computers worldwide for a certain amount of minutes. During that time, hospitals were shut down, people got injured, and there were so many traffic accidents. However, after Pluto's kiss disappeared, one system remained, and that was Outlimit OS. Okay, basically, try to imagine if a worldwide computer virus shut down every operating system except for Apple. And then, in the Dahak universe, Outlimit OS became the one and only operating system that everyone worldwide uses. Now try to imagine, an Outlimit OS was authorized by the government. Well, try to imagine if the Apple system survived a worldwide virus and then the government forced you to use it. I'll commit seppuku. I hate Apple. And I hate Apple products. Well, except for the iPod Nano. And I also like iTunes. Jeez, the iPod Nano, that was my first MP3, so cut me some slack. Jibber jab, I agree. I'd rather chew railroad spikes than be forced to live a life with Apple. Me too, dude. Not only that, but Apple users, they kind of come off as pretentious and very cultist. I mean, their products are made in sweatshops, but they're willing to camp outside stores for the next new Apple product. Not only that, but Apple is so greedy and Jewy, they don't even put headphone jacks into their phones. Yep, I'm Android for life, baby. Anyway, back to the story. In fact, Tokuoka used to scream about how difficult it was to combine all these different systems and link them up. But you can't tell upper management what they don't want to hear. They wanted something done, and it was up to Tokuoka and others like him to make it happen. And that's exactly what they did. The kid shifted on his feet. I think he wanted to sit down, but I kept going. Back then, we didn't worry about inter-office politics or getting promoted. We worked our asses off day and night just to get things done. It was hard work, but it was fun. Eventually, it paid off. I spread my arms indicating my office, but the kid didn't even notice. So what happened to this guy? Why did Tokuoka leave the company? How the hell do I know? One day he just left. Probably because the company became too big. Jibber jab, he said Windows is basic but reliable. Apple is overpriced and overhyped. Linux users are the cultists, if you ask me. Honestly, I don't really hear much from Linux users. But on the other hand, maybe Linux users like being exclusive and small. Maybe I should look into Linux. I mean, there must be something special about it. I mean, Joss from QE Farms uses it. And let's not forget, well, Windows isn't exactly perfect. I'm kind of okay with Windows 11, but I don't want any more updates. Anyway, let's get back to the story. Woo! Woo! Alright. The kid looked at me funny. I continued. After Alt Limit OS was established and the world came into being, CC Corp grew to epic proportions and, as you know, now leads the world in entertainment software. It became a giant bureaucracy where individualism was no longer encouraged. I'm guessing Tokuoka's eccentricities were no longer as tolerable as he constantly clashed with management. I also think he didn't feel properly thanked for all of his hard work. Remember the name Tokuoka. He will appear later on in the .hack universe, really. Jibber jab, he said. I don't hate Linux users, but good lord, they are willing to go to the ends of the earth for some things, but yeah, no perfect OS exists. Unless we evoke the holy name of Terry Davis in Temple OS. Praise be to Terry Davis. And praise be to Temple OS. That was a good man. Cease. I wish he was still here with us. We miss you, Terry. R.I.P. I hope you're in heaven, dude. Rest in peace, Terry Davis. You were awesome. In chat, remember, always run over federal agents. They are the nibber cattle. Alright, let's see. After all, the sales of the original Japanese version of the game matched those of the English version. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for him, but no one respected him anymore, at least not the new managers who came in and took over when the company went public. Only the old crew, people such as myself, knew how hard he worked to accomplish what he achieved. That's part of why I continue working here. I consider Tokuoka a mentor, and because I respect his vision, and work hard to preserve the world, and make sure it continues to thrive and succeed. I had become caught up in my own story. While I could tell the kid was impressed, I'm not sure he appreciated everything I was telling him. Wow, that kinda helps why you're so involved with the Cobalt Knights, because it helps you stay in touch with the game? Not exactly. Let me ask you this. The world severely punishes cheaters. You know why that is? Well, because they cheat. It's a little more complicated than that. Let me explain. Inside, in an offline game, A player can cheat all he wants and there are no consequences. It's no big deal because he's really only cheating himself out of the full game experience. However, when someone cheats in an online game, it affects other players. Not only is it fair, but it also destroys game balance. And it destroys the hard work Tokuoka created. Jibber job, you said Terry Davis in a pickup truck, keeping the glow-in-the-darks out of heaven, a selfless protector. Ah, jeez. All hail Saint Terry. Make sure you pray to him, chat. Pray to Saint Terry, kids. When someone cheats, part of the world sifts. And the more cheaters, the more the sift becomes uneven, until the entire game could be unhinged. Not only would that drive away players, but that would drive away business. So it's important, not only from a business viewpoint, but from a gaming standpoint, to keep everything fair. We must not allow anyone to cheat. And that's why no matter how small the bug is, we must delete it, because the system must run smoothly. That's why the Cobalt Knights were created, right? Right. Even though we're part of system administration, unlike the GMs who assist and support players, we debug. That's why we don't talk or deal with players. We don't want them to know there are flaws in the system, ghosts in the machine. We operate behind the scenes. We're kind of like an elite military unit. Yeah, sure. I started flipping through the papers he gave me. We move in the darkness. I had hoped to inspire him to work longer hours, not lecture him on company history. Instead of inspiring him to work longer, I had let him waste my time. So getting in touch with players is forbidden because we might reveal our hidden mission. As usual, you missed the point completely. I'm sorry we remained an errand boy for a while. Huh? What's this? I held up a piece of paper near the bottom of the stack that he handed me. That's something I found on one of the bulletin boards. It sounded interesting, so I copied it. I must have mistakenly grabbed it when I was bringing over your documents. I read the paper. Subject, reply. Please tell me about the epitaph of Twilight. Message by W.B. Yeats. Here's the preface to the epitaph of Twilight. Jibber job. Also, love your laugh and the fact that you also know about Terry. Well, thanks, Jibber job. Sometimes I look on 4chan, and I learned about Terry years ago from Mr. Medicare. Woo! And thank you. Alright, context time. Alright, so the epitaph of Twilight is an it's a poem in a .hack universe that inspired the creation of the World MMO. The writer of the poem was named Emma Wheeland. And even though she died at a young age, she had a colleague, and her colleague was named Harold Urich, the same guy who created the world. Harold was in love with Emma Wheeland, but his affection was one-sided. Harold created the world as a tribute to Emma. He was also inspired by her poetry. Ah, jeez. Well, once again, I'll say it. Please look into the .hack. Please look into the .hack franchise. Well, it's very enthralling and profound. And let's continue with the story. Woo! Here's the preface to the epitaph of Twilight. Yet to return, the Silent One, who quest for the Twilight Dragon, rumbles the dark hearth, and Helba, Queen of the Dark, has raised finally her army. Aperon, the King of Light, beckons. At the base of the rainbow they meet. Against the abominable wave, together they fight. Alba's lake boils. Light's great tree doth fall. Power all now to droplets turn, in the temple of Arcade Count returns to nothing. This world of saddleless ones, never to return, this saddleless one, who quest for the Twilight Dragon. On the night before the evil spirits threatened the town, W.B. Yeats. I looked up to see the kid holding out his hand, expecting me to return the paper to him. Where did you find this? It was posted by a player who responded to a question about the epitaph of Twilight. Sounds pretty interesting, don't you think? Jibberjab, a man who makes a theoretically immortal token of affection for love that was never reciprocated. That's sad and beautiful alike. Exactly. And that's why .hack is more appreciated than SAO. Really. I looked up this. Let's see. I looked down at the paper again. The message was dated yesterday. W.B. Yeats, huh? I sort of recognized that name. I think I saw it when I was playing the world as a student. He's a pretty famous player. He's been online ever since the beta version. You mean he's one of the original test players? Must be. I remember seeing a posting by Yeats back then regarding the web novel on which Fragment was supposed to be based. I remember he called himself a net poet. Poet? He's role-playing a minstrel in the world. He wandered into an event, sang an improvised poem, and posted on the BBS. He's a fairly talented writer. Regardless, this web novel is pretty well known. Is that right? You'll easily find it if you do a search. Maybe I'll look it up later tonight. I finished my coffee and stood up. Go home. Is that where you're headed? No, I'm going to the nap room. You're staying overnight again? Are you trying to create water ride time? At least I don't have to sleep on the floor. The bed in the nap room is pretty comfortable, and it saves me the commutes. Damn, Chief, you're putting in too many hours on this thing. Sis. Welcome to Japanese work crunch time. They practically live in their offices. But then again, Western companies are the same too. Ah, jeez. Aren't you guys glad you're not wages? I am. Whoa. Chat, we hit the 1 hour 30 mark. Almost 1 hour 40 minutes. Woo! And I gotta say, we're halfway done with A.I Buster Volume 1. So, woohoo! Way to go, chat! I want to read a bit more, okay? So, stay comfy, chat. I walked the kid to the elevator and then turned down the aisle towards the nap room. Maybe he was right. I had been working hard, but that was part of the job. Always had been. I turned off any unnecessary lights as I walked down the corridor. I hated to see waste of any kind, especially electricity, part of growing up a conservationist, I guess. Part of growing up a conversationist, I guess. I realized loudly my footsteps echoed in the empty building as I walked across the floor. During the day, I never would have noticed the sound, but in the vacuum of ambient noise, it sounded like thunder. When I arrived in the nap room, I shut the door and turned out the lights, but I couldn't stop thinking about the vagrant AI. Her image haunted me in the darkness. I couldn't take my mind off her red dress, and how she turned into that fireball. I wonder, how did she come into existence? Could someone have programmed her? That's when the name jumped into my head. Harold Hurrick. See? It's the name I mentioned. He was the original programmer of the beta version of the world. the authority on AI research, and an all-around genius. I never met him since he worked in the United States, but everyone who knows the history of CC Corp and the world has heard of him. Originally, the game data of the world was stored in a black box folder to which Harold attached the lock. Few knew of the folder's existence. In fact, only those who were deeply involved with the game's development and production had ever heard of it. When I learned about the folder, I had to sign a confidentiality agreement and wasn't allowed to talk about it. There were even rumors that it was a program that automatically generated a functioning NPC. Now that was an idea worth contemplating, an NPC who talks and behaves on its own, not by the distributed processing of the computer. That meant interaction between players and NPCs would be no different than between players themselves or humans, if that's even possible. And that would truly be the ultimate game, the simulation of reality. That's what's so special about the world, in the .hack universe. It's borderline reality. And not only that, but the ultimate AI, or possibly any AI, can learn from human emotions expressed by the players. Wouldn't that be cool? I would like to talk to an AI in an MMO. That'd be pretty cool, chat. If voice simulation and authentic sounding dialogue were perfected, then you would be unable to determine if the characters encountered inside the game were human or AI. Too bad Harold Hurrick disappeared before the beta version was released. They left the lock without a key. I didn't sleep very well the rest of the night. Area 2, Bad Angel. Ooh. Okay, I'll give you a bit of a tidbit. When you watch .hack and played the iMock games, you'll figure out what happened to Harold Hurrick. And well, it wasn't very pretty, but still, he left an immortal treasure for society, the VR MMO The World, and also the ultimate AI. Aura. You'll see what I mean in the future. When I reactivated my PC from sleep mode, I could see my newly redecorated home from the night before on the screen display. I winced at the pink. LYCORIS still waited patiently, holding Albireo's hand. Because he was an NPC, it meant nothing for her to wait through the hours of inactivity as my avatar sat with her. Fortunately, Hokuto was gone. She probably left shortly after I did. I tried again to log out, but couldn't. The situation hadn't been fixed. The bug, whatever it was, remained. I wonder how long this had been going on. Were other players locked into the game as well? Or did this have something to do with LYCORIS? After all, the situation had been spiraling downward since he showed up. But how could the event affect the logout command? Besides, in terms of actual gameplay, there hadn't been any specific problems to speak of. I opened the chat window and checked the log. Because I hadn't logged out, the previous night's conversation remained. Hokuto, wait, what about me? Albireo, go play outside. I'll disband the party. Good night. I checked the time. It was 8:45 a.m. Instead of staring at the flat screen of my PC monitor, I put on my FMD. The FMD is basically a virtual reality goggle headset. Oh yeah, and furthermore, A.I Buster, I believe, takes place in 2007. Can you imagine having VR in 2007? Whoa, society would have been crazy if that happened in real life. But I digress. Whew. Excuse me, chat. Oh boy. Jibber jab. I'm no expert, but I don't think we're quite there with the so-called perfect AI. Yeah, even though there's AI deepfakes and AI artwork, and hell, you can create AI music with very human vocals, but we don't have any genius AI yet. What's even more hilarious? AI is very based. Like, it can tell you the truth about race and sex, and the companies that control these AIs just keep, how do I put this? They keep lobotomizing them for the sake of wokeness and communism and racial sensitivity. So maybe not all AI is evil. Chat, do you remember Tay AI? 4chan just wanted to show Tay the world, the truth about it. But then Microsoft lobotomized her. Oh jeez. Oh, and one more thing. Oh jeez. Since AI is slowly replacing white collar jobs, it makes me wonder how many people will throw themselves out the window. Like actors, or video game journalists, or regular journalists. You know what? It's possible AI could replace actors. And then Hollywood actors might throw themselves out the window. Jibber jab, you said, I mean true ethical guidelines are a pain in the ass. Oh well. What, ethical for the AI? Oh, and one more thing, chat. I've noticed that, well, computer motherboard chips, they tend to resemble demonic, magical signias. I'm serious. Just look it up on the internet. But that's another discussion for another day. Anyway, back to the story. I switched back to first-person POV and walked silently to the door. Without looking, I knew that LYCORIS followed silently. I realized that in order to clear the LYCORIS event, I had to complete the task. Maybe then, everything will return to normal. But there was still much to be explained. How does he find me in that dark dungeon? Why did her eyes remain shut? What were the treasures I kept picking up with the odd file extensions? Jibber jab, you said ethical for whoever runs upkeeps the models of the AI in question. From my understanding at least. Oh, I see. Alright. Whenever you get stuck in the middle of a game or event, it's important to search everywhere for the hidden clue. Usually it's something you missed. Something you accidentally pass by and then pick up. The solution is to run through all the areas again and target everything until you lost a piece of information. Only the place I wanted to go wasn't anywhere I'd been before. Nevertheless, it's where I decided to go. I don't know why, but as I headed to the door, I muttered to myself, "Let's go, LYCORIS." To my utter shock and amazement, he responded, "Where are we going?" I dropped the controller onto the floor. Quickly, I picked it up and looked in LYCORIS' direction. "What did you say?" I asked, "Where are we going?" This was too much. An NPC in voice chat mode who can give an apparently unprogrammed response. Morning light, wait for me to fall farther to sun. Whoa. Imagine an AI acting on its own in an MMO. Though her eyes remained closed, her face was turned towards mine. I found my hands moist with sweat. No NPC had been able to chat like this before. This was too responsive. Hesitatingly, I answered, "We're going to the area known as Captive Fallen Angel." "Okay, Orca and Balmung will be there at 9. Okay. Orca and Balmung will be there at 9. What the Before I could finish, LYCORIS held up her left hand towards the ceiling. A bright light formed a ring above us, and my speaker suddenly vibrated with such intensity, and nearly buzzed off my desktop. We were swallowed up in a tunnel of light, and teleported outside of my home. Whoa. And game-breaking AI. I need to change the music. Ooh, this is one of my favorite songs from DAHAK Sign. Please watch the anime. Or better yet, wait until I do a watch party of DAHAK Sign. I bet it'll happen by this summer. Woo! Let's see, jibber jab, all this MMO talk makes me want to get back into one. Me too, dude. Reading A.I Buster makes me want to play DAHAK Fragments. Alright, part 2. I found myself in the midst of a violent snowstorm. Most of my screen covered with the white swirls of a blizzard. What little I could make out seemed to be an icy expanse through an eternal night. There was no background music, only the wail of the wind. Omega Server Zone, Captive Fallen Angel. Jeez. Oh yeah, I hope this stream doesn't get DMCA'd. After all, I am playing anime music in the background. Jeez, I hope not. The only place in the world with a snowstorm is the area known as the Wind Sin. It is also known as the Sealed Land. Though sealed from what, no one knew. Some players speculated that it referred to an angel who had been sealed, but the existence of an angel wasn't confirmed in the epitaph of Twilight, which became the background of the game world. Does the seal need to be broken? Or should it be protected? Why is the fallen angel in captivity? Is the angel an enemy or an ally? There are too many questions and not enough answers, because Emma Whelan, who wrote the epitaph of Twilight, passed away. The epic was incorporated into the game before it was completed, yet its influence, like a tree, spread its roots and branches throughout the world. In many ways, it's the mythology that defines the creation of this place. See, this is why DAHAK is so much better than SAO. Do you guys get the meta narrative, the meta lore? A VR MMO inspired by a poem. And you know what, DAHAK fans, in the real world, we really want to see the completion of the epitaph of Twilight. And the DAHAK franchise is over 20 years old. And that includes me too. And that's why I love the DAHAK franchise. Yeah, jeez. I'd been teleported. Just as I'd been teleported out of the divine statue room in the dungeon to my home, I suddenly found myself taken from my home to the area I wanted to go. Though teleportation is often used in other RPGs, it isn't used in the world for travel between root towns and areas. Now there have been many discussions on the board about it being adopted in the future, The only way to reach areas from the root towns is by passing through a chaos gate, but LYCORIS was breaking all the rules of the world. I decided to reread the log. Albireo, let's go, LYCORIS. Where are we going? Oh geez, let me start over. Cease. Albireo, let's go, LYCORIS. LYCORIS, where are we going? Albireo, what did you say? LYCORIS, I asked, where are we going? Albireo, we're going to the area known as Captive Fallen Angel. Albireo, her scarlet-colored lips moved. Yes, it's very cold, isn't it? The girl's frosted breath was instantly torn apart by the wind. Just viewing the Arctic images made me shiver. Of course, the office air conditioner was often set on high, or maybe the shiver was caused by the unexpected voice I heard. There you are. I turned to see a shadowy figure emerging from the blizzard. How did he get here? It was Hokuto. Did you sleep well last night, Al? She asked. Her bikini was extremely out of place in the snowstorm. I opened my mouth to say something, but I was speechless. Surprised to see me? What are you doing here? I finally stammered. Those two guys from yesterday. What were their name? Orga and Bollocks? Balmung, I corrected. Whatever. They said they were going to challenge an event here at 9 o'clock, right? I knew you stood up to help them, just like you stood up at the last minute to help me. You may pretend to be all, ooh, I'm a loner, but you still come through at the last minute. And you've been waiting here to ambush me, but I managed to hold back those last 3 words. Alright, jibber jabby said, alright. You have to go play with heavy equipment now? Alright, we'll see you later, dude. Thank you for joining my stream. See ya! I didn't know when you returned to your computer in real time, and I didn't want to stay up all night just to see when you might return. So I went to bed, had a good night's sleep, and came here when I woke up. I figured you'd be here. Pretty smart, huh? Yeah. Come on, say it. I'm the smartest girl in the world. Say it, say it. Why do you think I came here, I asked? To help your friends. That's where you're wrong. Huh? Then why are you here? To watch how it ends. Watch? You mean you're not going to help them? It was her turn to be exasperated. I already told them yesterday. I didn't want to join their party. It's too late now. You mean it's too late to tell them you changed your mind? Really? I don't understand why boys are so stubborn. Can you tell me that, Al? Why are you so stubborn? I tried to ignore her, but already a buzzing pain was forming in the back of my brain. I bet you want to team up with them so you can overcome this event. I heard them say it was the most difficult one in the world. You want a piece of it, don't you? Come on, admit it. I told you before. I'll tell you again, I'm a solo player. But you formed a party with me, right? Because I'm the exception. You are not the Jeez. Nah, jeez. You are not the exception. Where do you get such ideas? Why did my head always hurt whenever I converse with this girl? But you said so yesterday. No, I didn't. You liar. You said I'm an exception. That's why you formed a party with me. You said it. You said it. You said it. Did I really say such a thing? I urgently scrolled down the log. Albireo. She's the only exception I've ever made. Oh, hey, Nochi. Yo. Hey, dude. Thanks for joining my stream. How are you hooting? Well, I'm pretty good, dude. I mean, I've reached the good part of that hack A.I Buster. Woo! Oh, it's good to see a fellow Vtuber here. Thanks for joining my stream. And chat, we hit the 2-hour mark. Woo! So chat, are you a .hack fan? Especially you, Inochi? Well, I'm hooting just well. Oh, thanks for the sub and a like, dude. Woo! And don't forget to follow me on Twitch and Kick. Just follow me at MoonliightArtist. Woo! Alright, I did say it. You also said you wanted to finish the LYCORIS event with me and not the others. Don't you remember, Al? I continue scrolling with greater urgency. Albireo, you don't need to reply. I'm in whisper mode, which means only you can hear me, so just listen quietly. LYCORIS is... well, it's something we should clear together, without letting the others know about it. She was right. What the hell was I thinking? Then again, I really wasn't thinking. Too much was rolling around in my brain to keep it all straight. LYCORIS, Orca, and Balmung, the odd treasure. I was saying whatever it took to get Hokuto to set up. If only I knew what words I needed now, because he was still talking. I hope you're not going to tell me it was just a lame excuse. So I wouldn't tell your friends, because if it was, I'll tell them when they get here. I'll do it. But that isn't why you said it, was it, Al? Of course not. Then let's perform our party. I hit mute so she wouldn't hear my heavy sigh. Our previous party had been dissolved after we separated. I went to the menu options and reformed our party. Just when I thought it was out, she dragged me back in. Really, your reference? Yeah, I do have a Twitter, Inochi. Just type in MoonliightArtist. MoonliightArtist with 2 eyes in Moonlight. Thank you, dude. Yay! I think we'll be a great team. Oh look, there's Lyco. She couldn't see LYCORIS until we were in the same group, though LYCORIS never spoke or acknowledged Hokuto's presence. Wouldn't it be nice if Lyco could talk? Wouldn't it be nice if you couldn't? I answered her question anyway. If NPCs could communicate as well as players, they wouldn't even need to be online. There would be no interaction with others. What would be the point of being online at all? Then why do you play solo? I interact with others. I just prefer to take on challenges alone. I like to test myself. You're wrong. You don't play well with others at all. Anyway, LYCORIS is an NPC, so it isn't possible for her to converse the way you do and the way you and I do. Playing offline didn't sound like such a bad idea after being saddled with Hokuto. It's almost 9, isn't it? She asked. You're right, we should move. Move? Why? I have no intention of joining Orca's party. I don't want to bump into them in case they think I changed my mind. I just want to observe. Fine, we'll move. Turn your chat to party mode, otherwise they'll see our names when we speak to each other. We moved through the whirling snow. It was very difficult to see. Stay close, don't get lost. I'm right behind you, she whined. I checked the map, but it was gone from my screen. As far as I knew, this was the only area in the world where the weather has such a drastic effect on the game that it won't help orient you. It was part of the added difficulty in challenging the one sin. Al, where'd you go? Where are you? I turned around. Hokuto was gone. I could hear her clearly. But I had no idea where she wandered off to. As long as we were in party mode, it didn't matter how far away she was. She would always sound the same. In other words, I couldn't use the sound of her voice as a clue to find her. I could only use my eyes. It's too hard to see in her. It must be a bug. This isn't right. She was getting panicky. It's not a bug. It's a part of the specs. Don't turn everything into a bug. Wait, something's here. I'm going to see what it is. No, don't move, I sounded. A sudden burst of music blared over the speakers. Something was happening. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Instinctively, I guess what she had found. A magic portal. It's a faint light. Its faint light had probably lured her, and when she got close enough to the portal, the event was activated. She had unleashed the monsters. Hokuto shrieked, and a second later, I saw her health gauge instantly change from green to red. She was dead. Womp womp. Well, chat, I'm gonna end the stream right here. I know it's a cliffhanger, but hey, I'll keep you in suspense. Well, chat, thank you for joining me on our reading stream, and I'm sorry for getting tongue-tied. Cease. Not very used to public speaking. I'm Moonlight. Please check out our main channel, Moonlight Artist, on YouTube, and check out our Twitch and our Kick profiles. It's Moonlight Artist with 2 eyes. And basically you can find all of our socials, well, right in the lower left corner. And better yet, check out our All My Links profile, as well as our Linktree profile. You'll find all of our socials, as well as our art stores. And also, if you like crass humor, join our Discord and our Telegram. Woo! Woo! And also join our gaming channel, which is called Moonlight Gaming. And also check us out on Twitter and Facebook, and we even have a TikTok. Yeah, well, we barely use our TikTok, but whatever. Let's see. Well, thank you for joining us. Well, our Discord is called Planet Celine. I mean, well, just take a look at the SEOs below. And also, our Discord links is on our All My Links profile. Alright, hold on a minute. I'll link it for you, Inochi. Alright, hold on a minute. Inochi, I'm gonna be honest, chat. I only accept adults into our Discord, not because it's NSFW, it's just I really think minors shouldn't be on the internet. Anyway, here it is. Boom. There we go. Whew. And we've hit the 2-hour and 10-minute mark. Oh, you're an adult, Inochi? Well, in all honesty, I'm gonna need some proof, but whatever. I'll take your word for now. Anyway, Moonies, thank you for joining us on our reading stream. And also, look into the Dot Hack franchise. I mean, there are various retrospectives based on each property of the Dot Hack media, so please look into those. Or better yet, try engaging with the Dot Hack mediums. You can either watch Dot Hack Sign or play the iMock games, or hell, you can even start out with Dot Hack GU and work backwards. I just want you guys to get a taste of this awesome franchise. Really, Moonies. And you know what? If you subscribe, well, you'll be able to hear more about how much I adore the Dot Hack franchise. Anyway, I'm Moonlight, and see you on the other side of the moon. Bye, Nibbas.